How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the European Dream here on Football Manager 2019, and what an episode we're going to have today, guys. We're moving into the start of Season 4, and of course, now it is our first season with no European football, but that has not stopped us in the transfer window. I've got to say, this is potentially our best transfer window yet in the series, so let's jump straight into it. We're going to have a league game as well against Leeds. They're going to be opening our season. Going to be checking out how we'll be getting on over pre-season, but 163 million spent, 185 million brought into the club. Let's see who's come in and who's gone out. So we're going to start off with the outs, and Declan Rice is number one. And you guys remember he was such a little moaner, wasn't he, last season? Just moaning. Great player, English and versatile. They were the key things here for me. He was a great player for us, but yeah, just moaning non-stop. He's gone to Manchester City, £51 million. He was also in talks with Liverpool. City just had a little bit more financially for me. And I think, you know, for a player that was moaning a lot, he was always going to have big clubs around him. I've made 21 million profit in 2 seasons on him. So, happy days. Player number 2 that is gone, and it might shock a few of you. Luka Jovic has left. He's joined Inter Milan for £50 million, straight up, 50 million, all up front. It was a great opening season for him, 23 goals altogether in all competitions. But I thought £50 million, especially with some of the players that I had lined up to come in, it's great profit over one season for him. So best of luck for him. He was a great player for us. But yeah, Luka Jovic has moved on to Inter Milan. Another big shock, Willy Bolly, 31 years of age now. He's moved on and joined Monaco. AS Monaco signed Willy Bolly for 23.5 million, possibly rising up to about 30 million, I think. Great player for us, fantastic over the seasons, great average rate in the last couple of years. But I thought it was time for him to move on. I think he was expecting a move sooner rather than later, and he's back to his homeland of France, so best of luck to him. Kevin Mbabu's also left. He has joined Leicester for 22 million. Another player we brought on a free, and in 2 years we've got a really healthy amount of money on him. Great player for us again, but as you can see, the scouts, like, they really don't rate some of these players. So first year he was great for us. Yeah, last year not so much, but obviously he was competing with Carl Walker, but a good player for us who we signed on a free. Another player who we signed on a cheap and have sold him on, Juan Hernandez, Chucho. He's left. Obviously, we got him his work permit. He played a little bit of football for us, signed for 3 million a couple of years ago, and now sold for 50 million. Making some big profits on some of these players, guys, as you can tell. But yeah, good player. Scored 2 goals for us in the end last season. He grabbed a few goals for Cardiff, so it's a big and a good move for Hernandez to Swansea. Jack Grealish has also moved on. Obviously signed for £10 million a couple of years ago. Now sold for £14 million. Making a profit on him. He was English, and I think that was about it. That was the only advantage to him. He was a good player, but he just couldn't really break into our first 11. It didn't really suit him. So I thought we'll move him on for the good of his career, for the good of us. He's on 105 grand a week at Newcastle. Ridiculous amount of wage, but 5-year deal for him. And I'd imagine he'll be at Newcastle now for a few years to come. Another player, Profito made. Sondre Rosbach has left. He's joined Leverkusen. A host of big clubs are actually after him. But a player we bought on a free, we got on a free a couple of years ago. Had a couple of loan moves. Did really well in the Championship last year. 15 clean sheets, but now sold to Leverkusen. I think Roma after him, Leverkusen, possibly even Lyon, I think, with the 3 teams. But yeah, moving him on using potentially Dean Henderson as a backup keeper. Jean Martino, though, has moved on. I said at the end of the last episode, we want to try and get him to move on just because of his big wage, really. You can see physically now he's just deteriorating. 35 years of age, he'll still definitely do a job at Swansea. Got an assist on his Swansea debut as well, by the looks of things. But yeah, what a player for us, especially the last couple of years. Struggled to break into the team a little bit more last year, but 2.5 million. And Martino off the wage bill is a good signing all round. Now, I said Dean Henderson. I wanted him to be my number 1. He's not going to be my number 2. He's not going to be because he's moved on. He was moaning after I rejected a bid for him, and he's now moved to Millwall. We've actually made a little bit of a loss on him, which is a little bit annoying because I thought he was a great number 2, homegrown, decent backup. He actually played a couple of games for us, but yeah, he's moved on to Millwall. And finally, the other sale of note was Vaclav Cherny. Some of you guys may not even know we had him, but we signed him on a free to bolster our under-23s at the start of 2 years ago. He's now moved to QPR, 750k off the wage bill. Happy days. Now let's move on to the ins. So I'm going to move from the bottom upwards, really, in terms of fee for these players. But Carlos Alenia, I'm not sure if I said that I'd signed him. He was on a pre-contract, and what a player. What a player he looks like. Valued at 50 million already, just on 60 grand a week. And he looks absolutely superb. Definitely a shoe-in to potentially be the number 1 central midfielder this season. Mentally, he's just fantastic. 5'11", curls ball, plays 1-2s. Technically, he's fantastic. Really looking forward to him. On a free, he could be one of these crazy players we sell for like 80, 90 million in a couple of years' time. But in terms of first team, he looks like a great player for us. Sergio Aguero is going to be one of our backup strikers this year. Man, technically he looks great. Mentally he looks great. Physically, not so much. But I think 80 grand a week, 1 year contract. We're going to see where it goes. I think just because it's Aguero, innit? 34 years of age. Let's see if we can bang in a few goals for us this season. Really happy with this signing. Next one was a player who is a new gen and he's going to be sat in the under-23s. However, he may look to go out on loan. Millwall are after him as well. Great player, good striker. Obviously not great finishing, but yeah, great potential ability on this lad that was available on a free. Now, backup goalkeeper. I'm going to close my eyes because some of you are probably shaking your head at the screen. It's going to be Wayne Hennessy. He's not going to play, is he? He's already valued at 1.4 million, but he's a homegrown player. He's not going to play for us, so I thought we'll just chuck him in as a free agent, 3.7k. I'm not complaining. Another goalkeeper we brought in was James Evans. He's an 18-year-old new gen. He's going to be sitting in the under-23s. Signed for just 44k. A couple of teams are chasing after him. We were the team that won the race. Now we're on to some of the juicy ones. Miljoško Mitrovic. He could be, all jokes aside, he could be the starting centre-back for us this season. In training, he has been fantastic. And he looks a great player. Great little potential on him. 6'2". Just looks really, really solid all round. Signed for his release clause of just £1.2 million. Happy days. Next player was Federico Bellacqui, another player who we activated his release clause. Great player, great centre-half again. Unfortunately, can't get a work permit, so he's out on loan again at Jamia. But maybe in a couple of years' time, we may see him play. Now, backup right back after Mbabu went is going to be Max Aarons, Englishman. I've heard good things about him. Cost us about 16.75 million. We did have a deal agreed with Dodo from Shakhtar, but that fell through due to a work permit. So Max Aarons is coming from Norwich and a really good player. I like the look of him. I think he's going to be a great player to sit alongside Kyle Walker at right back. Those two are really going to battle it out. Now, the first of our two big signings, Vinicius Jr. comes in for £67 million. We've got Madrid paying a little bit of his wage as well, I believe. Yes, 26 grand of his wage. So he's still on quite a big contract with us here. But it's a 5-year deal. And what a player he looks like. I'm actually going to try and play him a lot more up front, to be honest. But fantastic player. Look at those attributes. And still only 22 years of age. He's going to be an absolute tank. And last but by no means least, wow. Timo Werner, 26 years of age. Look at that record for Germany. He's coming in. And this is going to be one hell of a season with him in at the front. £75 million spent on him. A lot of it being clauses as well. But he's on 150 grand a week. But Timo Werner, man, look at that. What a signing. What a signing that could be. So as you can tell, let me know in the comment section your thoughts on our transfer business. I know we've been going on about it for quite a while. But in terms of pre-season, immaculate. Beating two teams over in America, Hartford and Penn FC, 3-0 and 2-0. Beating Atletico Madrid 6-1. Divock Origi, don't forget about him this season. 4 goals. Xavi Ontiveros scored for Cadiz. And we beat New York Cosmos 6-0 in the most recent friendly. Today we're playing up against Leeds. And then other than that, the only other piece of team news we've got is Matías Vargas. Remember him. He's finally got a work permit, so he's going to be in the team as well this coming season. So many great players. I'm excited, man. Let's jump straight into it. So then here we are. Of course, the season's starting a little bit early because of the World Cup this summer, or this winter, actually, in-game. But we're starting with our 4-4-2. We'll start off with our team with Divock Origi and Timo Werner up front. Vinicius Jr. and Diogo Jota currently injured. Vargas and Traore make up as the wingers, with Andre Gomes and Neves in the middle again. Reguilon will sit at left back. Max Aarons making his debut at right back. Mitrovic making his debut at centre back with Kaleta and Patricio in goal. Leeds starting a 4-1-2-3. Mayoral up top. Bodu making his debut at left wing. Castillejo at right wing. Emmers and Drinkwater in the middle with Marcus Llorente in defensive midfield making his debut. Kurzawa, Dunk, Janssen and Badu Ndiaye with Casilla in goal. Opening day of the season, and what a season this could be. I'm really hyping these transfers up. I really hope that we can have a great season with these transfers. Alenya's on the bench, not quite sharp enough for me. But off we go at Ellen Road for a new season. Let me know in the comment section down below, guys, how you think we'll do this season and what you think of our transfers. So thrown here for Max Aarons on his debut into Timo Werner. Back to the young Englishman at right back into Andre Gomez. Back to Ruben Neves. Neves on the ball. Bit of a poor pass there by Ruben Neves, to be honest. And Leeds can maybe break. It's a ball down the middle. Mitrovic with a great header. And Neves now will hold on to the ball back to Kaleta Carr. Into Max Aarons again. He pokes it past to Adama Traore. Great ball over the top to Timo Werner, who took a touch inside. Here's Vargas now for us. He's got a strike from range. That's blocked. We're knocking on the door here. Andre Gomez again into Adama Traore. He's got a strike as well, and it forces Casilla to a good save. Knocking on the door there. A couple of good chances for us. Was that the highlight, though? Casilla's going to pump the ball forward now. Max Aarons heads it forward, only as far as Badu on his debut. Great tackle. No, it wasn't. He's missed it, and Mayrol's through, and Leeds lead. Within 9 minutes, out of nowhere, Leeds take the lead. One mistake by us there, and Ellen Road erupt as the home side take the lead. It was Max Aarons' poor header, which went straight to Badu. I think this was Neves who tried the challenge, and he skipped past it, and Mayrol smashes it past Rui Patricio, and it's Leeds 1, Wolves 0. It's Kazawa here for Leeds into Emmers. Emmers now to Gazawa and into Drinkwater on the edge of the area. And Leeds could be close to doubling their lead. 10 minutes at half time, which is going to push them up a little bit, our lads, because we're sitting way too deep there. And we see just up to half time if we could go attacking and maybe take the game a little bit more to Leeds. And there's an injury right on half time as well. So we're going to bring on Carlos Alenia right on half time now. So he's going to get 45 minutes now in this second half to really try and do something for us in this game. But we're 1-0 down against Leeds United. Pretty disappointing performance. Pretty quiet game as well so far. And Andre Gomez coming off injured right on half-time. So assertively, we're going to tell them we expect to see much better. And Carlos Alenia with a big chance to impress us here in the middle of the park with Ruben Neves. Been an extremely quiet game. We brought Aguero on for Origi. We're going to bring on Javi Ontiveros now as well. Just in this last 15 minutes or so, as we try and get something out of this game. It's Leeds now, right on at the end of the game. Patricio makes a save and Drinkwater puts it in. And Leeds take a 2-0 lead. And it looks like they're going to beat us here on opening day. With the amount of money that we've spent, Timo Werner's had a shocker today as well. And Danny Drinkwater taps it home. No one chasing it up. And we just haven't got the ball forward to our attackers today. We've been on attacking and very attacking for the whole game. And it shows, I mean, you look at the condition of the Leeds players compared to us as well. And I don't believe that they've come and beat us here. Away from home, we've lost on the opening day of the season. It's Leeds 2, Wolves 0. Very, very disappointing. You know, we're going to go aggressive and tell them we're not happy with that sort of performance. So there we go, confirmation of our defeat to Leeds United. And we sat at the bottom of the table. Not a great start to the season for us. But guys, we'll be back next time. Let's come back for the EFL Cup. We're going to come back for the EFL Cup and the game against Arsenal as well at the end of August. So in the meantime, we've got a big chunk of games. Swansea, West Brom, Manchester United, Cardiff, Watford and Spurs to come. Hopefully we'll get a few wins in between there and bounce back to full form. Until then, guys, make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll see you all very, very soon.